Jesus Christ, fucking music's not
What's
muted.
up? What's up?
That scared the shit out of me. My music started playing when I hit play. Or record, I mean. That scared the shit out of me.
It's Conan.
Right there, buddy. So then Conan gets set on fire, and we're all trying to...
While recreating it, I'm like, and then he
Yeah.
just stands there.
And then Hogan said, if fires were invented in my day, brother.
Oh, did you see Hogan actually say this week that he was going to fight Tyson before Holyfield?
What?
Which might have been true.
I don't know.
Or he was going to wrestle Tyson before he lost to Buster Douglas.
Are we still trying to recreate that whole thing? Wait,
back in like 1990 or whatever. Fucking Hogan's so stupid.
Did he really say that though?
Yep.
Oh, I actually thought you were just fucking around.
Nope.
I thought you were just trying to recreate the magic.
It's gonna be me and Tyson at WrestleMania 6.
Oh, brother.
Because Tyson's people would have let him wrestle. Yeah.
What would Tyson's tights have been? Would they just had him wrestle on his boxing stuff, or would they have like a Mike Tyson tights?
You'll say tights.
He would do leggers.
It's all tights.
He would do. Yeah. He would do straight
singlet?
leggers, like black leggers, with Mike on one side and Tyson on the other.
Oh yeah. Oh okay.
No, actually, no. He would do his boxing shorts.
Yeah.
You'd have to. I was thinking like, but we're thinking 1990. Like, would they have known that? Because that didn't really start happening until like after UFC got popular. Then guys would start to wear shorts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just feel like they would ruin it and like would be like a singlet.
Yeah. Any boxer wears their shit they wear in the ring.
I'm trying to think who. Other than I'm trying to think of like Mr. T. What did he wear again? I forgot.
Just red legging tights.
Oh,
yeah.
That's probably
white tennis shoes.
Tyson would probably do something like that, I bet.
Yeah. It would just be all black, like Craig said.
All
with
black,
Jordan. Yeah. I wear Jordan.
Time for some sounds of action. Time for
so what's going on with your boys CM Punk? He just
some shit. Yesterday was yesterday, the day before.
Hey, just spitting truth. What's wrong? You guys don't like truth?
Which one did you see? Did you see the one I sent?
I believe all of them.
Oh.
I think he's hacked, or I think there's fake accounts now. I don't think he said what he said.
Yeah, that last one, Cuz sent one.
I think that last one was fake.
Saying that he had an alleged affair with Shawn Michaels. That I don't know if that was
real. Fightful News actually posted that.
Really?
They said this was CM Punk's recent IG story. So, I mean, I'm sure that one's bullshit, and he's just,
he's just saying
fucking around.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we should probably back up and explain to the folks listening what we're talking about, like what led to that. Who wants to go?
I thought there was another. So I know the story about Moxley. He was originally basically 2 days ago he started spouting off about how when he was hurt after his foot surgery, when he broke his foot, like remember how we thought it was all odd that him and Moxley ended up facing each other that Wednesday on Dynamite before the pay-per-view, and then Punk got squashed. I guess behind the scenes it was like Tony Khan was trying to rush him back, and he's like, "I'm not coming back until I'm cleared." And then Moxley was trying to say, "Well, we can kind of do a Rocky 3 story, like where Rocky." He got too big for his own head or whatever. And then like Mr. T came along and just beat him up because T was more gritty and all that stuff. And then Rocky would end up training for real and then beating him in the rematch, like and outclassing him or whatever. And Punk was like, I've never seen a Rocky film ever. Like, so I don't know what you're saying. I've never seen the
Rocky movies ever.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're talking about.
So he's
John.
like, I don't know what you're saying. And I
don't like it.
With Punk. There's a lot of problems with him apparently. But the problem with Punk is like when he tells a story, he combines it with like what is actually happening versus what he thought in his mind or what he thought later. Like he doesn't actually say in live action, right? Exactly. He doesn't tell what the conversation was. It was just like I was sitting there and I had to remind him that I hadn't seen a Rocky movie, and he told me this whole story about Rocky, and I thought the idea sucked. But he didn't tell Moxley it sucked. But he's telling you right now that he just thought it sucked. So Punk's like. Sucked. Yeah, Punk's retelling of it is just always like, so because Triple H said it when Triple H was on Stone Cold's podcast. Remember when he asked about it? Triple H is like, Punk is the guy who is disgruntled and will tell everybody else he has a problem. But when the guy that matters, that he can actually vent to, comes around, hey Punk, how you doing today? I'm fine. Everything's great. Are you sure?
I'm fine.
Because I've been hearing some stuff. No, I'm fine. Everything's great. Okay, because I think something's wrong with you. If you want to say something, get it off your chest. No, I'm fine. And then Triple H would leave and he would hear more that Punk's bitching and complaining or whatever. So it seems like Punk is that kind of guy that he just automatically thinks that he should be treated well and that he should never have to like say, hey, by the way, that makes me uncomfortable, which you have to do in life sometimes. Sometimes people put you in uncomfortable situations, and until you tell them, hey, by the way, what you're doing makes me, oh shit, I didn't know that made you uncomfortable. I'm sorry. Like, but Punk never gives it. He just goes, no, I'm fine. Everything's good. And then like when they leave, he's like, stupid motherfucker. Nothing's not good. Everything sucks. Like, and that's kind of like, it seems that's how Punk is. So when he tells a story, I'm like, he's just kind of recreating it from his little Punk mind. Like,
you got to be confrontational, Punk. Sometimes you just got to do it. You know, someone
Well, how do you
shit at you
think-
at the bar,
yeah.
you got to go up to them and say, "Hey, motherfucker."
yeah,
And then later on, it was like apparently like Jericho, they confirmed that they did have a locker room meeting where Jericho confronted him, and it was led by Moxley, Jericho, and Danielson. They called him a locker room cancer and blah blah blah, and they didn't like how he was doing business, and so the locker room was legitimately upset at how Punk was acting. So it's like at some point with all these stories, like you're the asshole.
Come on.
Everyone else is an asshole. You're the asshole. So
if it's 1 or 2 times, it's a coincidence. But if it happens more than that, it's not a coincidence. Kind of like
even and Seth Rollins like on Twitter or on a little Instagram or interview said, you know, I don't want him back.
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah,
I don't.
he's
He's not a nice person. Yeah, I don't like him. Like,
So it's, you know, his reputation is being fucking picked apart. But like, apparently there's no way he's coming back now, right? Like, but he
it's
did.
so weird.
He did delete.
It's almost like he wants to get fired now.
And then another story is he wants to come back to AEW.
Yes.
So, but I mean, you know, other than what he's actually posting himself, everything else is just also everyone else is just fucking speculation.
He did delete that Instagram where he said
He did.
the thing, which and then someone posted the AEW talent rules were about disparaging the company, and that's why he deleted it, saying like, so he's still part of the talent. So like he deleted it because it was violation of the rules.
So the recent one was about how he met Shawn Michaels.
So that must just be
that
a parody.
One's got to be like bullshit.
So he's saying everyone's lying or blah blah blah. But whatever, dude. Cat's out of the bag. You're an asshole.
Yeah. Well, the Shawn Michaels one's not. It's just him talking about how him and Shawn Michaels
didn't it all originally start with him saying that he was reading Steve Kern's book, and in Steve Kern's book, there's a story about how Steve Kern and Coco Beware got in a fight, and I guess the company lawyer pulled him aside and fucking said, "You guys squash this shit right now, like,
and they
don't do this." Yeah, and then so he posted that going, I thought that story was really funny, hinting towards like the Omega and Young Bucks, they should just make it up and squash it or whatever. And like and that's what started, I think. I think that was the first post that he did. And then I want to say he pulled that down and then he did.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But I saw something else too where he was like was he talking about Moxley? He was talking about someone named Ron who was like acting inappropriate at a bar or like something like that. He was alluding to someone was like cheating on their wife or whatever, like right in front of everybody or whatever. I maybe I misread
Ron
that or
D.
something.
Orton. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, it was like Ron and
Simmons.
Sam. Like he was addressing someone named Sam and then
Guerrero.
talking about someone named Ron. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he was just changing the names or whatever. But like,
probably
maybe I read
He's
that was fake or something. It's just like there's been so many like screenshots of his shit. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know what. But I want to say I read something like that yesterday where he was like telling a story for, hey, I just think everyone should know out there that when we were at a bar one particular night, like he put like his face and a waitress's between her chest, and like he was making out with other people, and then he called someone like a woman a fat woman. Like that's the word that Punk used. He's like, yeah, and he was he was like, yeah, he was picking up on a fat chick or something like that. He said something like that. So people were tearing him apart for saying that phrase and everything. Not my phrase. Like, so that's what I read. So I think there was a lot of stuff that he posted.
Thank you.
What?
Oh my God.
Just kidding.
No, don't kid about it. It's funny. It's all right.
Hey, the male version's probably called the same thing. The male version's probably called the same thing. But yeah, so I don't know. That's what I read yesterday too, because I don't remember whose thread I was on, but like I was trying to like just read, because like you can go in the comments and they still continue the post.
Yeah.
And I was like just trying to read. So like I don't know if people are starting to post fake shit now, and just because everyone's using the black background just with the words on it, 'cause that's how Punk posted it. So I don't know like what. Yeah, I'm not sure what's real and what's not. So the story I just talked about, I probably look like an idiot, but I read it. It's not my words.
If we're supposed to believe the dirt sheets, they're credible. So Fightful posted that one about CM Punk. What he posted, they said it was on his legit Instagram story,
and then he took it down. Yeah,
I met Shawn Michaels at a restaurant once. We accidentally been given the same table.
There's no way.
I'm sure he wrote it, but it's probably
no, I know. Like
obviously.
Yeah, I don't.
Like now he's like feeding into it. Like you guys will believe everything.
Yeah.
And so now people start to rumor that him.
I think
Shawn
that's
Michaels
what's going on.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Shawn Michaels is going to be looking. Yeah, he's going to be looking at Punk and then looking at whoever else.
If you really don't like wrestling anymore, just get out of wrestling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Honestly,
like who cares?
That's
like, just
get
out.
We're at fault for kicking off with it and talking for the last 8 minutes on it. So like
said that about Punk.
Like whatever, like we just talked for 8 minutes and kicked off the number one story.
He had a good, he came back and like it was all, he had everything handed to him. Came back in Chicago. The place was crazy. It was a magical promo that he cut.
Had Tony's
everything
gear,
was awesome.
Had his wallet, had everything.
And he actually was still he was like slower a step or two, but that's because he'd been off for 8 years. So like,
Yeah,
but he was getting in there. He was looking good again. He was starting. Him and MJF had a great feud, great dog collar match, really great dog collar match.
White tights,
So like
blood all over. Yep.
yeah, he had a lot of good moments and everything. It just I don't know what happened towards the end. The last like 3 months that he was on TV, it just fucking took a shit. And like it was weird. Like it's almost like he wanted to turn heel, but Tony didn't want him to, or vice versa, because Punk's a heel. He's an asshole. Like he's an absolute heel. And maybe MJF, that's what MJF was more upset about when he left the first time. More of like, I'm your heel, but yet now this guy might be your heel. Like Punk is really Punk's really good on the fucking mic, like especially when he's a heel. Like he's awesome. But
I would hope that they were clever enough that this has all been a plan since day one, but
nope.
I don't think so.
No, there's so much that's played behind the scenes. There's no way. Like they would be doing shit on TV, you know what I mean, and like leaking it out. Also, too, you know, the at the beginning of last week's Rampage, they had like a backstage scuffle, and it showed the Young Bucks being taken away.
And they
the production truck had Punk's face on it, but they covered it up with like wood.
Which that would be awesome if it's all part of the plan, you know?
Yeah, it's like that would subtle hints or whatever.
But it's, you know, I don't know. Even if he does come back and they work it all into an angle, I don't think it was like that since day one. I think it was they just squashed it and said, all right, now let's work it into the storyline because everyone's already talking about that being a work anyways. So,
and I think honestly, with Tony Khan, like I think he's the coolest guy in the world, and if you cross him,
yeah, of course you do,
because because I think the thing with Miro, I read today, like the reason why he's sitting at home is the angle for Miro is Tony Khan wanted to put him in a battle royal and have him be second place. I forget who he's supposed to lose to, and Miro said, "Nah." He's like, okay, go home, and then we'll call you.
It was Adam Page.
That's what it was, yeah. And so and he has not picked up the phone since.
I think Miro's like, just saying,
I'm ready. I'm here. It's like, fuck you. You don't want to be second place in a battle royal? Like,
no.
I think you're done.
It's like all the guys that came from WWE. I think they are like, why are we in the same? Why did we leave WWE then? We're in the same position that we're over there.
Well, a lot of them didn't leave WWE. They were fired.
That too, but.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you do it for fewer dates and more money and be taken care of. Like, but it's not the same. Like you will do, you know.
And the story's not the same for everybody, right? Because they say that about everybody that leaves. They were all mismanaged. I'm like, that's not possible. And there's only a handful of spots at the top anyway. So you got to really evaluate. Look at you know, like Ricky Starks has been floundering around for 2 years, and Ricky Starks he cuts one promo, and now Starks is someone. Like he's not like super over, but he's more of a main piece now.
But it's funny.
Sometimes it just takes a while.
Pick your moment and fucking find your moment.
The same guys that are on top in AEW were on top in WWE. Moxley, former WWE champion. Bryan Danielson, former WWE champion. Jericho, former WWE champion. Same locker room, different name, different initials.
You can't really. That's not true. 100%.
No. It is. They are.
It's not.
Well, I mean, Danielson. Maybe not Danielson. Actually, no. Outside of the same.
You're gonna want national names to
outside of the Bucks and Omega.
I mean, well, their longest reigning champion was Omega. So I mean, like
that's what I'm saying. Outside of them, though, it's mainly the same guys. But I mean,
they started it, so it's like now you're excluding a second group. You're like WWF guys, and now that group. But then other than that, like
well, I mean, where's the Wardlows? I mean, finally MJF. At least he's got.
Don't start with me on Wardlow. I can't. It's very emotional. It's very raw.
Like that was your should be guys talent. Like Wardlow. It should be guys like Miro. Miro and Wardlow fighting for the title.
I'm not going to side with Tony Khan on that. He had a chance with Wardlow. It's fucking bullshit. Yeah. Did you hear? I don't know if it was last week or the week before when MJF. Oh yeah, it was last week when he had Jungle Boy in there and Darby Allin and Starks out there, and then Sammy was out there, and they were all in the ring or whatever. And then like he said something like, "None of you guys can hold a candle to me" or whatever. And then the crowd still started chanting Wardlow. And I'm like, fuck, like they're still remembering, like you had this thing. And I just don't get it, man. I really don't get it. I can't defend the Wardlow thing at all.
Samoa Joe was losing all the time, just like he was in WWE.
Yeah, the same.
That's what I'm saying. The fucking same thing. Different fucking network. I mean, yeah, that's fine. Because at least
you watch Revolution? Cuz we talked about this.
No. I didn't. I heard it was good, and I saw the highlights. I thought it looked, from the highlights, but that's I haven't bought a pay-per-view since last year.
But I mean. People said the same thing when NWO went over there. It's all WWF guys. Like it's just in it.
I mean,
and then they made DDP. They made Goldberg. Well, I mean, it was, but they all bounced back and forth to begin with. Like Hall and Nash actually were WCW originally. Everybody forgets that. Like, because they were Ramon and Diesel and they did an invasion angle. Like now it's like, oh, they're WWF guys coming over. That was the way it was painted. Like it was kind of the way they programmed it. It was like that before, and nobody ever said that before. Wow. WCW is just WWF, or like when WCW guys went over there. Wow, Flair's champion. What is this? The WCW locker room? Like nobody said that.
I was 10. Over. Jess, I was 10, and I didn't have the internet.
No excuse.
You went goo goo gaga, same locker room. And I'm like, because
My
why are you
Eric
goo goo
Bischoff.
gagging when you're 10?
Why is this
Bischoff's
bad
on coke?
booking?
Why
I
is
don't
Eric Bischoff's
understand
eyes
when
wide
people go
open?
there.
Capri
When
Sun.
people go there now, they have to pull talent from somewhere. They're not going to use a 100% unknown locker room because they wouldn't even
No.
get 800,000.
I don't even
views if
have a
they did
problem
that.
with that. They're using WWE guys. I have more of a.
They have
Look at
to.
what WWE's doing to these guys. They suck. They'll be better off in AEW when they're
Well,
in
and
AEW
then they get
and
there,
they're in
and,
the
and
same
then
position.
they
Everyone's
get
like,
there,
this.
yeah, and then the
Oh,
same
what's
position.
that over there? Oh, I don't see what's going on over here.
It's
oh,
the same, and there's the same handful of top
Everyone
positions,
has
right? You
blockers
can
on.
you can only push like a handful of people. You can't like have everyone fuck. You know, it's like they think when they went over to AEW, they thought all of them were going to win the world title. It's like, how's that?
Well,
possible?
yeah, and that's the
Like,
problem right there. You can't just. I mean, I don't know the way Tony Khan is. He wants to please everyone. He might actually make everyone a world champion.
I mean, he does have a lot of titles on his television.
Tony Schiavone might fucking be world champion.
It
next
depends.
week.
Yeah, I
Wouldn't be
mean,
surprised.
Hey, depends how if you get him to love you, do whatever you want.
And then poor Jade. Jade even made little comments on Twitter that she made it sound like she's like kind of pissed at her position now. Like
that she's undefeated and she squashes everyone in a minute and doesn't get.
No,
any better.
I think she just
she'd
wants.
be real mad. She'd be really mad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why, but she said
enjoy
something
your
like,
spot for now.
To your point, though,
I know for now she should actually.
To Cuz's point, though, like, you know, she's gonna get flat if they keep doing the same thing over and over again with her. And they need to give her someone of substance, right? They need to have her wrestle at least a 10-minute match with someone and be semi-competitive and show that she can hang out in there. Because I love her gimmick. She looks awesome.
She does.
Like, yeah, she's tall. Like, she's strong as hell. There's no way she doesn't have potential. She looks fucking great. But they just do the same thing over and over again with her. It's like she's like the female Wardlow. They don't know what to do with her, so they just, you know.
I think that's basically what the hint she was trying to drop. Like they're dropping. She said something like they're dropping the bag or the ball or something. She said something like to that.
They got to make her better. They got to give her something better.
They do.
You know what?
You can't just make someone undefeated.
Stop bitching. Like Vince would never allow any of these people to bitch or you're fin. Like Tony has allowed a culture where everyone is allowed to bitch. Like I'm home. I'm here. They know where to find me. Like.
Punk sat right next to him and dressed him down for like fucking 10 minutes while he was eating a muffin.
Yeah.
Tony Khan's all, I can't believe it.
No, Tony Khan was just going like
this. So, this is
shit. Yeah.
Jaguars football.
I wonder who this Tony guy is. This Tony guy must feel terrible right now.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, you know.
Glad I'm back in this horse. Wait, what did he do? He kicked it. He punched somebody? He killed a dog? Oh.
They'll get better. I mean, it's getting better kind of in certain areas.
You know what I find funny is like the more Omega is towards the top, the more I'm like, this feels better. I don't know why.
Yes.
Like Omega's really good. Like Omega's awesome. And like to me, I'm like, you should fucking put the title on him again, honestly. Like I know MJF's on fire, blah, blah, blah. But like Omega can do everything. Like he's great. I loved his character before.
He might be going to WWE. You never know.
That'd be great. Actually, whenever I see him in the ring on AEW, I think that I imagine what they could do with him in WWE. And
right now with Triple H, oh my god, like
my god,
so many matches.
Can we really talk? So we talked about just briefly before we hit record, but Vikingo versus Omega. Jess, your thoughts last week?
I just should never read the internet.
Oh, because you watch after all the acclaim of like
no, because I did watch it, but people can't. No, people can't, like, anything that happens now, it's a direct comparison. This is just like when and fucking dumb Dave Meltzer said it too. This is just like when Rey Mysterio debuted, but better. And I'm like, or it's just a totally separate thing. Like, nothing was like Rey Mysterio when Rey Mysterio came in. And this guy, I never noticed Rey Mysterio setting someone up for an hour and a half for a move. This guy does that Omega had to lay there for him so many times and stand there and look up and wait. And the guy did insane moves, insane, athletic, fucking crazy moves I've never seen before. I'm not suggesting I didn't go, oh, a few times because I did. But like, I kept noticing like, God damn, Omega's a pro. Like Omega came into that match going, I'm going to make this guy. I'm going to make sure that he gets to highlight all of his shit.
Yes.
Because Tony Khan made a big deal to bring him out, another guy that nobody knows anything about, and you got to fucking search him on your own, which isn't that hard, but it's, people struggle. And if you don't present people with shit, they're just like, oh, no. It's like, well, you bitch online. You don't know how to use Google or what? Like, but everyone bitches, oh, another no name, which, okay, but they watch because they see the advertisement. And then Omega's like, look, whether this is going to be a long-term thing or not, I got to put this guy over. I got to make sure he looks like $1 million, and he did. And like it was a great match for today's standards, right? I don't mean that in a dick way, but they weren't like trying to kill you with psychology. They were just trying to kill you with athleticism, and they did great. Of course, the right guy won, and I was more impressed with Omega, to be quite honest. This guy's great and all, but you put this guy in there with someone who's less than Omega. Do they know how to sell for this guy? No, Rey Mysterio made his own openings because Rey Mysterio would always do stuff defensively. Like he would get caught in something and then he would do Hurricane Rana, turning a guy's move around on him. So Rey was awesome because he was smaller. So he was the underdog. So he's always fighting from underneath. That was what's so special about Rey. This guy was equal to Omega in size. And so Omega had to sell for him. You put this guy in the ring with anybody else, I don't know if they make the guy look as good. I think they have to tell the guy, hey, stop with the flippy dippies because I can't fucking keep up.
Well, no, that's the AAA style. It's so like it's so cartoonish and stuff.
I get
whether
it.
you're in a six-man or like whatever. So
you know who could? Randy Orton. That guy could fucking probably.
We just fucking RKO him like every move. He just RKO
every different like crazy angle and fucking crazy high flying maneuver.
Why would you wear a necklace with like a stone on it if you're gonna get chopped? Like he kept like tucking away like the necklace thing,
in your throat,
and then I kept thinking like Kenny's like chopping the necklace right into his
chest.
Was
an impressive match, right? If you had a non-wrestling fan in the room, like I could say somebody could sit there and just be like, well, I'm gonna watch this because the guy's doing crazy flips. But I just feel like for the long term of things, I'm just like, who can work with this guy? And this guy work with other people, more importantly, when he doesn't have someone like Omega feeding himself to him and setting up for this guy. Who's going to work with this guy?
No,
if he does sign with AEW.
I think he's proven that he can on the indies and then all through.
He probably could get a good match out of Brock.
On national TV.
They'll hire Seth Rollins just to make him look good because Seth makes everybody look good.
He's done moves that like in the way his style like that you've never seen before, like the anti-rotation of like
absolutely
you flip like gainer and then you gainer back like. I think there's a possibility there, but I agree with you, Jess. Like it was a meshing of style, and these guys probably haven't touched each other before, other than
the
like
first comment I read was just like, "This reminds me of Rey Mysterio, but better." I'm like, how do you shut the whole internet off? How do you pull the fucking plug on the whole internet? I'm like, I can't fucking do this anymore.
And you know what? It's okay if people want to say that. Like at least they're excited about like a new.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's
like
a good
AAA and Lucha. Like you haven't heard that since like Ray. Like at least like if you have Commander come in,
just trying to make excuses for everything. That's a good point. No, it's not a good point. You can fucking say it's not a good point when it's not.
You know, like you don't want to see like Commander versus.
He's right about people. He's right about people being excited, right? We want people to watch wrestling, but it is annoying.
That's where it ends right there.
I agree with Cuz 100% on most of this because it is fucking annoying, man. Like I try to keep to myself, but just man.
Craig, about being excited, I agree with that part, but.
Yeah, dude, every single thing anyone says about anything in wrestling is fucking ridiculous. So it's like you have to throw.
That's all you do online is overanalyze
any single segment of any pay-per-view in any Reddit thread in any Twitter at any moment. You're like, shut up. Like it's true. Just the way the world is.
I don't see how it's billed as a dream match because he's literally fighting another guy that does flippity doodads like everyone else that he fights on AEW.
See, because. You hate the forbidden door phrase. You hate the forbidden door phrase. I'm done with the dream match shit. I'm done with that shit.
It does not.
Matches are not what people are making them.
Door doesn't mean anything.
But if he's been the best dude in Mexico for the last 3 years, and then Kenny hasn't wrestled in 2 years,
I've seen him a lot. I've seen him a lot before here.
And I'm not disputing that. I'm sounding more negative than I want to, so I apologize. Like it was a good match, Craig. It really was, but like I'm more responding to other people's reactions rather than the athletes in the ring. It's not fair that I take it out on him and Omega because it's not their fault. They did awesome.
It's not their fault.
I'm just more mad about the sphere of the.
It's the hive mind of the IWC and the
hive mind. I like that.
Yeah, it is. It's the hive mind. It's the AEW.
Don't call it match. It wasn't match of the year by any means. Like it was fun, and there was some stuff you've never seen. It's not.
I hate to, like every time I've seen this guy. This is his moves. He just. And then he fucking takes off. Like he waits like 10 minutes before he fucking.
And then he makes his opponent fucking just lay there or stand there for him like a zombie, like staring at him. It's like Omega did do that once. There was one time where Omega, when he did the Frankensteiner, when he had Omega outside on the apron standing up, and he was on the top rope, and then he jumped onto Omega and did the Frankensteiner. That was a great fucking move, but Omega had to stand there for like 3 seconds, going,
"Come on!"
Like Omega's like looking up. He's like, "Come on!" Like God. But other than that, I was really impressed with Omega. And I think that, I know Jim Cornette puts that narrative out there, and not that it's a big following because it's not, but like Jim Cornette puts that feeling out there that Omega's not good. And I was like, that's a lie. Like Omega is
he's
good.
Athletic, but
he's athletic, really, and I think he's better than what people give him credit for. I get that flippity dippy kind of wrestling is not our bag per se, but like Omega, Omega can do both. I think Omega could be good.
Cornette also means it by the no selling when they just did something
True.
crazy that
Yeah.
you should sell for. And I agree on that. Like Bubba Ray actually said it best. He said, when I think best pro wrestler in the world, I think Randy Orton. He's all Kenny Omega is the best at something. It's just not pro wrestling as far as in that perspective of it.
Yeah, if you're looking for like a
Randy Orton is
what a pro
the
wrestler
complete
should look like.
AJ Styles is a better pro wrestler.
Is Orton? I don't know. I mean, I like Orton a lot, but
if you go by like pro wrestling in this,
Seth maybe. I mean, but Seth is a little flippity sometimes, right? Like,
yeah, but he's still.
I like Seth.
If you go back and watch like a lot of Omega's matches, it's a lot of like, let me do my shit, boom, sell for 2 seconds.
Yeah, then you get your shit.
Now the other guy go do your shit, boom, and it's
different. I'm not suggesting it's not, but I think Omega could shift if he went to WWE. I think he could calm down a little bit and still be good.
Oh yeah. Oh, and then yeah, I think so too. I'm not saying he's not like
Omega's a guy that can do
tier.
60 minutes on AEW with Danielson. He can headline the Tokyo Dome with all the stars from New Japan. He can tour Mexico and do anything there. He can do trios matches and still share and get everything in and have amazing stuff. Like whatever his style is. Like, no, Omega's amazing.
He's good. No, he is. One of my favorites. Just like AJ Styles is up there for me. Randy Orton's up there for me. Of course, the best is Stone Cold, but you know.
How'd you work him in? He just from nowhere.
Because Stone Cold and Hideo. Oh, I can't fucking say his name. They'll fucking have a barn burner match.
Who?
the guy that,
that wrestled Omega?
I can never just say. Yeah, I can never say his name.
Vikingo.
Vikingo. Yeah. Why did I say Hideo?
Could you?
Yeah, Stone Cold. Fucking just doing like corkscrew into the air.
Sorry, kid. I can't do that, kid. I can't do that.
And stuff. Austin does, but he grunts as he does it.
Slams him down every time Vikingo.
Like two Sonic the Hedgehogs fucking colliding into each other. Like
he just Thez presses everything Vikingo tries to do.
Yeah, he does a Thez press and then
he
it
does
turns
flips
into
before he does it. Like Austin's super athletic.
Yeah.
He bounces off the ropes, like the middle ropes, and then does it.
And then when he lands on them, he flips with the opponent.
See, all that stuff on Instagram like 4 months ago where Austin looked all jacked up.
Well, actually,
Mania. What the fuck?
You hear that?
Why do you
it still might be
like
no. It still might be a thing. LA Knight might come out and do like a promo, and him and Austin might have a match.
Austin just comes out to do a
spot.
That's
what's been talked about right now.
That'd
yeah,
cool.
No, that's literally what's been talked about right now. That he might come out and
Austin
fight LA
can do
Knight.
a spot, right? Just come out and stutter him.
Awesome! Holy shit! Well, I really
they both
wish
sound
you
the same.
said that. Now that's in my head.
I know because now it better.
By the way, somehow LA Knight is the perfect combination of Austin and The Rock, and I don't know how he does it. He has like the way he cheats out. It's like The Rock, and then like when he talks, he sounds like fucking Austin. When he's like, like that, I'm like, fuck, that's Austin. Like, but it's not a rip off
at house shows.
Like,
they're giving him the mic. He's taking advantage of every opportunity. He's getting his ass kicked. And it doesn't matter. He's
so good.
If you believe the dirt sheets, Triple H is pushing him hard after Mania. To the top.
He should, man. He's really good. He's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if they'd actually, and they are putting a lot of stock in their secondary titles. But make him? I guess you make him a face, right? At this point, because he kind of already is.
He'd be really good in AEW, right, cuz?
Yeah. He would be in the whatever spot that he's in now. That before he actually gets his push in WWE, that's what everyone would be
the
saying.
opposite saying because he couldn't go like when he gets out there. What would he say to AEW? Like it's just opposite.
No. You know what sucks is imagine like him and Bray could have had a good feud if Bray was like the Colt family fucking. Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, and if Bray could, they actually let him wrestle with the fucking lights on.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be great.
Like that could have been a great feud, like those two.
It'd been a good match really too. Good. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because he wasn't afraid to get. He seized his opportunity. He got out there. Anybody else would have been pissed. Oh, I'm just going to be part of this fucking light show. I'm just going to be part of this bullshit. But when he got out there, he fucking spoke to Bray and he cut a promo on Bray and wasn't afraid. And that's when people started popping a little bit for him. Even then, and they're like, "Well, this guy's he's not afraid." Yeah. When any character shows that they're not afraid of something, you get behind them when they believe in it. Like it's
when
so
you're fully invested in whatever bullshit that you've been given. Like we respect.
He got pinned. Who did he get pinned by the other day? Like Kofi Kingston fucking pinned him because he's kind of doing some bullshit with the New Day right now, and he just loses to everyone, and that makes me angry. But I'm like, just keep getting over.
Okay
keep
for now. Like
keep standing up and showing them that like you don't care. Like keep showing them, and then like
I don't know if they're gonna still plan something with him and Bray because was it last week when he walked up to Rey Mysterio and Rey Mysterio slapped him?
Yeah.
Behind him you could see a Bray Wyatt logo in the back.
Oh really?
Yeah. Now it's like a cursor. Everyone's like, oh god, not Bray. Everyone's like, god damn it.
I'm tired of swerve. Like, stop.
I just wanted to get to the point. Just tell me who Uncle Howdy is. I literally want them to march all the characters out and be like, You take your mask off. You take your mask off. So we could be like, there now. Can you wrestle? Can you guys get in there and fucking wrestle, please? That'd be great.
I'm Bo
Once again,
Dallas.
I
some-
just
playing the part of Uncle Howdy.
I've been Uncle Howdy for the last couple of months. I
been
did
Uncle
overshoot
Howdy
him on the box
since the beginning
Let's wrestle.
because I believe I
was the first NXT champion, and a good
Yeah,
one.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
They're
I played the
renamed like
part of Uncle.
the Friendly
don't
Rotundo
care.
Boys. That's their tag team. The Friendly
I don't-
Rotundo Boys. They're all, hey, I'm Bray. This is my brother Bo. This is my dad. It's a
It's
picture
like-
of IRS.
I almost bought a B Team T-shirt because I really liked it. But
I did. I love that.
I thought that like little
Dude,
scratch B, like
all
was good.
those people there, like Curtis Axel and all that stuff that were making
The
chicken salad out
Miztourage.
of chicken shit. Mizdow,
Who was it?
like all
Oh,
them.
wow.
It was the Miztourage.
Mr.
Yeah, the Miztourage. Fucking great,
It
man.
was Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel with Miz. It's fucking great.
It's awesome.
That was so good. Curtis
Who-
Axel was starting to get good too, man. Like, and then what was Rybaxel was fine. Like, they
Oh,
were just
yeah.
trying to make it work. Like they're
Axel.
That was so
giving
stupid. But
garbage.
it was
and they were
good too.
trying to make
Actually,
it work.
they had a good
Yeah.
tag team. I liked it.
They were fun. Like they were just giving garbage and they were trying to make it work.
Lashley came up with a good idea, and I would be interested if they did it. Lashley said, "What if they made me and Brock a team instead, and have us tear through everyone, and be like Road Warriors or Legion of Doom?"
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
That would
Like,
be
it would
fucking amazing if they did that.
Like
Imagine them
Brothers
with
of
the tag
Destruction
titles
2.
and stuff. Yeah, just have them fucking go in there and decimate
There'd
people.
be no one that could ever.
Yeah,
Just one would turn on the other, and that would break them up. Like one would turn on the other, and then cause the other to get
Doomsday
pinned. And then they would
device?
just fucking have.
What would their
Then they
finisher
would-
be?
maybe-
Like, what's the most?
Then maybe they'd have a goddamn
devastating-
proper match instead of them teasing me with Brock and Lashley and them holding back. Because the first one that they did at Royal Rumble was a good match, but then Roman cost the ending, you know. And
Yeah.
then and that was like their best match that they had. All the other matches since then, it's like they're fucking with you. They end it in DQ or they do something crazy, and I'm like, dude,
it's like they're building up to that one.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
they're
it's
building
just
up
a
to one more.
big car.
Lashley already
crash.
said that he wants one more. I think so.
Guys,
Hell
do you know what's
yeah.
going to happen at Mania? Omos
What?
is going to go over on Brock Lesnar. Are you excited?
I
Are you
actually
ready?
I'm
don't
so
think
excited
so.
for that.
I don't
I'm so
think so.
excited.
Are you
actually.
ready?
Because if you think about it, only one person so far has beaten Omos, and it's Braun. Braun.
Lashley
Oh.
beat him at Mania last year.
Was it Lashley?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, Lashley beat him
I
at
think
Mania
then
last year.
almost beat Braun, right? Almost beat Braun.
I think so. Maybe. Yeah. I think. he
Okay,
did.
so I mean, he could afford a loss actually at this point now. So
And
I think
all the stuff
Lesnar
you
needs a
read about
win.
Lesnar kind of his time is wrapping up, and
Don't, God damn it,
he's got to
Craig,
give
once
back
again,
to the industry
You're-
because
They've
God damn
already
it, Craig.
debunked that fucking bullshit.
Oh.
The same dirt sheets that said he was going around saying, "Bye everybody,
even my
I'm
mic
just- I'm
hated that.
wrapping
My
it
mic
up."
was like, no.
The same dirt
That's
sheets
a
that said
good
he was
fucking
backstage
idea.
wrapping up and saying bye to everybody are also the same ones that said this was not true. People that we know close to the matter said that's not true. He's not leaving. He wasn't saying bye to everybody.
Heaven forbid someone ask Brock Lesnar himself, but we won't. We'll
I
just
know.
keep speculating on everybody.
Yeah.
I might leave
Yeah.
the arena and fly back to Tennessee if Lesnar loses to Omos.
God, if it happens, I'm gonna laugh really hard.
I would laugh.
And then
I,
because,
the entire
you want to know
night,
why? Not because I want it, but because everyone's gonna be like, I knew. Everyone used it. I knew Vince was back. Everyone's gonna fucking say it.
Yeah.
Like,
Fucking idiots, man. And everyone
can't,
so
like,
wants to believe it.
I would
idiots
wear
at
my
Wrestling
Super
Observer
City
wanna
Los
believe it.
Angeles T-shirt, and I'd be like, "What the fuck? I paid $40."
But see, this is the thing. This is the thing too. All the IW, the inner wrestling community, hive mind, the fans of the Meltzers and the AEW cultists. How long while Vince had it? How long were they like, man, WWE's gonna be so much better when Vince is gone. It sucks because of Vince. Blah blah blah. Just wait till he's gone. Blah. And now that he's gone and Triple H, they still shit on it and they still want to believe that Vince is in control. And it's like they're hoping he's in control and takes back control.
Yeah.
I don't see any of them. God, you can get me started on some shit here.
And by the way, like I'm glad they're getting incrementally better. Like they didn't blow their wad, right? The first
No,
month
exactly.
at Triple H, because that shows that Triple H has longevity and he wants to run
Yep.
the company. He wasn't trying
Exactly.
to prove anything. Like it's all of it is getting better by sections, just sections,
is.
and they're figuring out. Okay,
one
do
wants
we
to admit
use
that.
this person or do we not? Or look, we got an LA Knight. You hear that? Okay, yeah, let's go to LA Knight. Like they're just having a good time. Like I love it. I love what
Guys,
they're doing right now.
Don't be
I
a
do too.
sheep. He wore a mustache. He came back for Cena. He's fully in gorilla now.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Obviously.
He is.
You guys are fucking sheep.
There was
I'm sure
another
he
story,
is.
because you said that. I thought you were going to say a different story about Lashley. I don't remember who was interviewing
Oh.
him, but he said he talked to Vince one time. He was like, "I have an idea for like a
Yeah.
thing," and he was
I
like,
know what you're talking
"Because
about.
I guess everyone says he has a
fat.
crazy metabolism, like that.
Yeah.
He could eat all the shit in the world, and he just works it out, and like he never gains a pound.
Lashley or
he's
Vince?
always ripped.
Lashley.
Lashley.
Okay.
And so
talked
I
to
guess
Vince
he
about an
he
idea.
pitched to Vince, and this was Lashley telling the story. I don't remember who was interviewing him, but he's like, I went to Vince and said, why don't we do like a thing where I lose a match and then I lose confidence and I get fat for real? Like over like 6 months, I'll gain like 50, 60 pounds of fat. I'll just lose my abs, everything. And then I finally find my confidence and I get back in shape. And as I'm getting back in shape, we show that. And then I start winning matches again or whatever, and then I get back in shape. And he said Vince didn't like it, but he was like, I could do it because like he was just more like, I could totally get fat and get myself back in shape. It was like a challenge for him. Like he wanted this year-long thing where he got fat for like 6 months, like noticeably heavier, and then like he could just get himself back into shape
I think
real
Vince
quick.
said
and
he
then,
didn't want to do or something like he's like, you can't do that. No.
I like that.
Yeah,
idea.
he's like, there's no way you could do that, pal.
The problem is you wouldn't recognize the difference week to week, so you'd have to go away and then come back.
He would have to
Yeah.
go away from an injury or depression or something. And
Just
leave
show
for, like, 2 months.
him at like restaurants, just fucking.
So the week to week progression, you
That'd
wouldn't.
be-
He's doing
that
all
would
these
be-
food challenges. Fuck,
Dude.
you could post his shit online on YouTube. He's just doing food challenges everywhere, but never being shown on TV. That'd
Bobby
be great.
Lashley, I'm gonna eat 50 wings.
Yeah, seriously.
Look how stupid it. Like that's an idea. Like if we didn't talk about it right now and Vince did, we'd be like, that's so stupid. But look, we're talking about it, fucking, and think it's the greatest thing ever.
Do you know how great it would be? And they could just use social
It
media.
would be.
Like
It would
he's
be
off
fucking awesome.
television. But yeah, he's just like, I'm Bobby Lashley, and this is going to be the Paul and Angie's Pizza Hut challenge. We have 13 large pizzas, and he's just fucking and he has to do it.
Show
just do
like
it 20
still
minutes.
photos of him like eating people.
Yeah,
Like,
but he's
how
really
fucking fat he
eating
got.
people. He's eating like
Yeah.
babies.
And all Vince could counter is like, well, let me think about that. Let's put a pin in that. But how about we just call you Lashley for now instead of Bobby Lashley?
How about good idea? How about I do something similar to what you just said? But MVP with you, and that's it. That's how is that even close to what I just said?
Good chat. Bye bye.
It's all
Good
hurt
chat,
business.
Bobby. You're great. You
Imagine-
look great.
You look
You like
great.
my
I think
mustache?
I think Vince's thought of anybody just getting fat willingly just horrified him. He's like,
I think
no.
so. Yeah. He probably like, you're
No.
a star. You're my star right now. Like you're one of my stars. I'm glad Lashley got the fucking respect that he deserved when he came back.
Dude,
like,
he's
winning the title and
he's
everything.
he's great.
I love it, dude.
I
What
love
an
it.
entrance,
I-
dude! That theme song and that entrance when he comes out,
Oh,
like,
I love it.
It's absolutely perfect. I love it.
It is.
It's
It's epic.
get you going.
He's awesome.
Except for when he goes.
And he makes you fear.
Dun, dun.
Rock, paper,
I hate
scissors.
that so much. At least he didn't stick with it.
He should do it. He should actually play rock paper scissors with the crowd, like on the way down. He's like, and he loses. He just keeps walking, like the face.
That's what he should do. When he should do the fat gimmick and then do that, like playing paper rock scissors for people's food, like like eating. And then, even if he
gigantic.
loses, he just grabs the food out of their hand and just starts eating it.
Yeah,
Fuck,
and he gets
give me
thrown on
that.
the outside of the ring, and he just starts eating the fans'
Yeah.
food, like they're at ringside,
Yeah.
like drinking the
Or he's
beer.
just
and
doing
then-
Even
that
in the
with
middle of a
crab
match,
legs,
he's so winded.
Crack.
In the middle of the
Like
match,
he
he's
eats.
so winded, he just drops to the knee and rolls out and starts grabbing people's food.
Mhm.
It's like, I don't want to. He just gets counted out every time. He doesn't care.
yeah, he
He's
just
fucking great, dude.
it's caught up eating.
God damn it, man. I kind of want that to happen.
Oh,
Because
God.
that person asked, well, now that Triple H is in charge, I remember that interview. They asked, since Triple H is in charge, are you going to pitch that again? And he like, I guess he laughed. He's like, I'm going to try. So I think, I don't know if Triple H would want to do that either, though, but
Oh, okay.
even have him go back to NXT, like have him go to NXT if he goes through that.
They changed his
Like,
name
get
to
back in
Blobby Lashley.
Yeah, Blobly Lardley.
Lovely Lashley.
Blobly Lardley.
Blobby Fatley.
Fat. Oh, you're going to offend some people now. Get the fucking...
Yeah,
I'm
like
gonna be champion.
he's always gnawing on something, and then he just puts it down his tights, and he wrestles, and then when the
Oh, I
match is
wrestle
over,
with
he
it.
just pulls it out and starts eating it again. God damn it,
Bobby
It breaks
Booger.
itself.
He recreates. He's Bastion Booger. Bobby Booger.
Yes, he's Bastion
Yeah.
Booger.
Dude,
Bobby
He
is
wears
anyone
the
Booger.
pull
same
food from their
same
tights like
outfit and
that?
everything. Oh my god, it'd be fucking
That's
great.
a hell of a gimmick. Has anyone pulled like a chicken leg from their tights or like a rib?
Yeah,
or
fucking Bastion Booger
a
did.
hot
I know that
dog?
Bastion Booger would bring food down to the
Bastion
ring. He'd
Booger
be
would
eating
bring,
food,
like, a
and he'd
fucking
put it in the
turkey down,
corner.
yeah.
Oh, really?
And I remember,
Fuck,
yeah, he'd be
alright.
eating it, and then the prelim would start hitting him on the back of the head when he did wrestle enhancement talent, and he'd be annoyed,
I'm
so he'd
telling
put
you.
the food down and beat the shit out of him, and then go back to eating. He did
Bobby
do that.
Lashley should like bring
Shit.
that up. He should get fat and like bring back
That
the
sucks.
Bastion Booger outfit and stuff.
Oh yes,
That would
Oh
be
my
fucking
fuck,
awesome
see?
if he did
Like,
that.
what are we doing here? We
Bobby
are better
Bobby
than
Booger.
regular
That's what
wrestling
he, and
fans.
he should
Nobody else
just change
talks
his
about
name.
this.
Bobby Booger.
Lashley and Booker.
We just wrote 2 years of television for
Thank
fucking
you.
Bobby Lashley, and we were
hire
barely
us,
trying.
people. Jesus.
Someone share this to Bobby Lashley. Tag him in it. Make sure he fucking sees this.
Uh-huh.
Make sure he sees this because I
Listen-
want him to see this, and I want him to be
listen.
like, you know,
Slovenly.
he's gonna be on our podcast.
Lashley.
He can even work us in the angle, you know, like he's eating while he's a guest on our podcast. He's just
Mhm.
eating. Like Lashley,
He's
What do
distracted.
you gotta
How
say
about
about that?
Bobby? Bobby's like, huh?
He takes up 2/3 of the screen.
He takes 2 cubes, like on the Skype.
Lashley, we can
Once
hear you.
it's
I'm like,
done.
breathing on
I'm
the
small.
microphone.
I'm all small in the corner. I'm like, so sir,
He's like, I was in a bank robbery.
Yeah. I'm like, what'd you do? You eat him? And then that's when like, and we're just like laughing, and it's like a movie. It's just zooming in on his face, and that's when he starts realizing I'm fat. And then
then he starts
it's
training.
on our show where he fucking starts coming to his senses.
What'd you do? Eat him?
Did you eat him?
Yeah, the camera zooms in on him, and he's like,
No.
like,
Yeah,
we're
he's like
talking,
almost
and
crying.
our voices
we're
get
like
blurred
laughing.
in the
Ha!
background.
And it's like showing our faces. Kind of like on Waterboy when Big Show was laughing, Captain Insano. He's like,
Oh yeah,
yeah. They're all. It's gonna do that for Lashley.
So actually, it was the most
damn
traumatic moment of my life. Whatever, Tubbs.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Did you eat him? Oh no, I ate the bank teller.
Whoa. And as we are getting closer to Mania, they're starting to heat up a little bit with Roman of the Reigns and Cody. He brought up AEW. He didn't say AEW, but he basically is like, you create your own company to go over it, and you can't even get over there. Like, and everyone's like, oh fuck, like, that was great.
Yeah,
that was their promos have been really good actually between.
And you got to give like Cody credit. He's showing poise of like this veteran. I mean, I guess in his way he is. I mean, he's been doing this for a long time now. You don't really think about it, but like, yeah, he's just ready. You see it in Cody, his timing.
I like how he called that out actually, with where he kind of like when he told Solo you're not ready, because he was comparing him when he was dashing Cody Rhodes and he wasn't ready back then.
Yeah,
and like how when Solo went to try to go do the spike to him and Cody just fucking caught him off guard because he wasn't ready, and that's when Roman was like, don't, like, because you're not ready, because you're too young, you're still a rookie compared to Cody.
Yeah,
Cody's grown
See,
now.
I love the
He's
layers of the
battle-tested.
storylines and having Roman play into that too, and like, so now you think there's dissension again, like kind of, or there's at least someone else that's speaking sense. It's almost like you feel like the whole bloodline, they used to only listen to Roman, and now they're hearing other truths. And so now Roman's like, fuck, I'm losing him. You know, it's kind of like, I feel like this sense. And then the line that Cody said, where he's like, you're a Roman without Reigns. You're, you know what I mean? Like, you're this whole thing, and you're going to have no bloodline, like, basically after it's all done. So it's like, you're teasing it both ways. He's hammering on him saying, your dad liked me more than you. And then like Cody's like, well, you're losing control of your stable and you're really nothing without them. So once you're stripped naked and you have nothing, then what are you going to be like? And now it's like, oh, like, I like the back and forth.
But I love the fact that like people are debating whether like it should Roman, like, what happens if Roman retains? Like, it's almost up in the air.
That's the most awesome thing is there's a lot of people now that are actually doubling down. They're like, no, Roman's going to win. Right. And I'm like, oh, this
because
is
why
good.
would you let
like,
an AEW really creator go over in the biggest stage of them all? And that makes a lot of sense. Because if Triple H can't even,
because he's Dusty's son, he said it from the start. He's not. He's Dusty's son. Like that supersedes everything else, and that's what the storyline's about. So, but I like that people are still doing the AEW thing. It would just be like, why would you let Hogan win your world title? Because he's the biggest star like in the world, and so he's over here now. So we're gonna let him win our world title.
I mean, if
like,
Trips couldn't even see the lights over Sting, like.
Well, yeah, that's a good point, but we won't talk about that.
But there's no way. Like, there's no way you can leave that stadium in SoFi with
the
Roman
only
going
way.
on. Like, it's just can't. Right.
The only way you can do it to where you can keep heat and save face for Cody is if it's the Authority that backs Roman and they help him win, and
like
you have
Triple
the
H
machine
comes
behind
back
Roman.
on-screen character.
Yep.
Or his cousin.
Because then people are going to be more pissed, even more pissed.
Like
a
swerve.
Or The Rock,
yeah,
even The Rock. Hollywood.
See, I had a daydream about that the other day of The Rock actually just turning. He's not going to be a part of Mania, so it really doesn't matter. So all he has to do is come back for one impactful scene. What if he does make a WrestleMania appearance and Rock bottoms Cody, and then just like stares down at him or whatever, and like, oh shit,
fuck
like,
your family.
That would sell it. That would sell it.
And then Cody's not. He didn't lose fair. Like, you know, he got. No one saw that coming. You know, because Rock doesn't give a shit if he gets booed. Like
that, and then like I said, and Triple H, because that's the whole thing, right? Like the Machine, Triple H, and keeping guys like Cody down and stuff like that. So I think that would add, the longevity to it too.
Yeah.
To where you really want to see him.
Con.
Because then if Cody wins the Rumble again next year and finally beats whoever's the champion, or if it's Roman or
if Cody loses, it has to be from like a huge swerve that we never saw coming, and like that he just gets screwed. Like so that way he can save face and be like, hey, I didn't lose to you, I lost to somebody that I didn't know was plotting behind my back the whole time.
Well, and then Cody gets fat,
right?
And then,
like he's selling so much merch.
Cody gets fat after he gets
he gains like 60 like his dad.
He turns into fat dust.
Yeah,
and he turns into fat dust. Ah, shit.
Yeah, he gets like
Stardusty.
he snaps and he
Just
thinks he's
snaps.
his dad, so he just gains weight.
Oh,
He wears
shit.
polka
Oh
dots.
my
Like he's
god,
just,
that'd be so fucking
he just
funny.
snaps. He thinks he's the American
Do you
Dream.
imagine
That's
that
what
the
neck
American-
tattoo with it swelled out if he's 350 pounds?
Oh.
What the American Nightmare logo would look like? It would look like
just so big.
Oh,
a
that'd be
fucking
funny.
semi truck. Like
So we have like a
would be
Lashley get
fun.
out of shape, a Cody get out of shape. Our promotion would be everybody gaining
Everyone
weight. Like
just
that'd be all our
yeah.
storylines. Everyone just huge, like for no reason.
babies.
Oh damn it!
O.W.P, our fat ass
I think we
podcast.
just booked the next 12 months, guys.
Supposedly Triple H has the next year. booked
Really?
up. Yep, he has it booked.
Yeah,
till next
they're saying
WrestleMania.
too. Like there's the storyline for the Bloodline goes on through SummerSlam. They already have it like written out.
What?
Basically.
We don't know if that means Roman is champ, but
Yeah, it just means that they'll still like Sammy's still going to be involved in like the
Which-
dissension.
that's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like, well, I was gonna say, to me, that's kind of where like the curse comes in of it. Of you've had Roman that's been the champ and the top for so long and the head of the fucking bloodline. It's like after he loses the title, I kind of don't care that he's gonna fight Jay at SummerSlam because someone already dethroned him. So it's like,
Yeah,
I mean, I
it's
guess they
weird.
can make it interesting, but
I think I don't know. Maybe if they end it like that, like I think that it's time now because he had a successful heel run that you could do a
Yeah.
face Roman. Like now, like when he comes back, it'll be like seeing a Cena or seeing like
Yeah.
whatever.
Interesting.
but
Like,
Jay
maybe
has
he
to have his
goes away
revenge
and he
first.
comes back because he was shoved down our throat before, so we booed him. But then, like when now that he's heel and he found his voice, every good wrestler, not only do they wrestle in Japan, but they like they'll be a good heel first. Like we were talking about Orton when Orton was a part of Evolution, it really wasn't his faction, and he didn't know his voice. But then when he got kicked out, he had that failed face run, and then remember Cowboy Bob Orton, he fought the Undertaker and all that stuff. Then Orton started really getting good. He started figuring out his voice, like, and then when he had the Legacy, he was more of a heel. He was more of a bastard, like he would kick people's heads off, and Orton found
That's-
himself. And then now when Orton's face, dude, the place goes fucking nuts for him because
So
he
that's
gets it. Like
that's the other rumor,
Roman now
too.
knows, I think, how to be a face. I think Roman understands now how to do it.
Could you imagine
that's-
Roman taking a break, coming back, saving Sammy from a beatdown by the rest of the bloodline, and then Roman with like Sammy for some reason? Like that's absolutely could happen. And
They
could
could
have
twist
Roman-
that, yeah.
Roman,
Roman,
against the
Sammy, and
rest of
Kevin. They could have like a little stable. Roman, Sammy, and Kevin.
Yeah.
The other supposed plan is that during the main event, Cody Rhodes and Roman, that you might, of course, have the bloodline coming out and attacking Cody, and then you might
I think
have
there'll be I think there'll be a shitload of shenanigans for sure.
Well, and then they said Orton and Riddle might come out and help Cody since they've been gone.
Oh yeah,
forever.
you start having the locker room come out and even the odds because Sammy's going to be involved somehow. Sammy will be out
Yeah.
there. Kevin Owens will be out there.
I mean, give me
And
an
then
That's what I'm
Orton
thinking.
Riddle moment.
I'm
but-
thinking the people that we see in the storyline will come out and neutralize the bloodline.
Well,
And
if
then
you
when
think
you
about
think Cody's, you never know. It could be
it, Riddle and Orton got
something
injured by
actually
Solo.
happened.
Orton and Riddle got injured by Solo. Is the the storyline
Oh,
of
okay.
them.
Okay.
So,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
That's true,
them
and he
getting
comes
written off
back, yeah.
TV. So, yeah, so that could be the
Hmm.
the bloodline. Basically, they were intertwined with the bloodline.
I
Before
just
they
like that
left
we
before
don't
they
know.
broke
I
up.
think it's
Well,
awesome that we
yeah.
don't know.
Mhm.
I
Isn't
think
there
there's
an
some.
no, it's-
Yeah,
Is there an Orton Judgment Day angle? Didn't one of the Judgment Day hurt Orton or no? No,
no,
never
I don't
mind.
think so.
I've been
Which
doing-
I still love the Judgment Day, and I supposedly the plan is to make them better, like bigger and better. Like Finn says he wants to add someone else to it, and then they plan on making it a long lasting faction. Which
Okay,
I love
awesome.
that. I
They're
love the
good.
faction.
Do you want to talk real quick
I
about
do,
the
I like
airport stuff with all the WWE superstars?
Oh yeah,
Like
With
Rhea
Rhea
Ripley
now,
said,
same
like
thing
I'm kind
happened
of
with her
done. And
yeah.
there's
So
video
what
of the
happened on
footage.
that? I saw obviously she was
following
approached
her.
by some bullshit person who was trying to just sell the merchandise with her signature
Yep.
on it.
they were
And
following her through the airport.
Yeah, it's been a known thing where there's been videos where like these fucking hawks just like wait, these vultures, I should say,
Live.
or
They are. They're just
cockroaches,
pieces
just
of
wait
shit,
at the
like
airport,
collectors.
and then as soon as they get off, they tackle them, and they're like, "Oh, just
They're
sign
the
this stuff
fucking
for this
worst,
sick
dude.
kid or whatever," and it's like 300 cards. They're like, "Sign all 300," and they just sell them. That's what they do.
Yep,
I'm waiting for the wrestler that's actually gonna fucking
pop them in the mouth.
pop them or do something.
Yeah,
Take
or
their
just tell them
shit.
just
I
fuck
would
off.
take all their collector's figures.
I'm sure
It's gonna
MJF
be
already
Randy.
has. I'm sure
It's probably
nobody
gonna be
asked
like
MJF
Randy.
for shit.
It's gonna be
MJF,
Randy.
like you don't even ask MJF for anything because he'll tell you to go fuck off.
It's gonna be Randy Orton.
Yeah, Randy was just like legitly really RKO him, like right there. Just fucking hurts the guy. He's convulsing.
What
He's
was
like, "Oh
that?
shit."
Like the couple reporters that he's gone off on and everything. And then that
yeah.
fan, remember that fan that low blowed him in South Africa and he kicked him in the face?
Oh,
That's
no.
right, yeah.
Shit,
Oh
really?
my God.
You never seen that?
No.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, dude, it was in South
No.
Africa. They had a tour, and Randy Orton was doing his, on the turnbuckle, and a fan freaking got in and like
He
low
low
blowed
blowed him from the back. Like
Yeah.
Orton was up on the apron, like playing to the crowd, and someone came up behind him and low blowed him. And Orton looked down, like, is this supposed to happen? Like for a second, he's like, what's happening right now?
He thought he was supposed to sell it because he thought it actually was like I forgot.
Yeah,
whoever
he like
fought
sold
that
it a
night,
little
thought
bit
they were
because he
doing
was
an
like, are they playing a joke on me,
Did
or
he
did they
fake
send
low
someone out
blow
here
him?
and shot
Like-
something? Yeah,
No, he went up there and he like really low
Jeez.
blowed him. But Randy Orton was kind of he kind of like thought it was whoever he had just beat.
What the
He
fuck?
thought they were doing an angle, and then he turned around and saw it, and like the ref and security already tackled the guy, and Randy Orton went and kicked him in the face. You saw the guy had a black eye
Good.
at
Yeah.
in jail. Yeah, and then you find out he's an actual local independent wrestler. He's an idiot. He
come
cut a
on.
promo. He's like, Randy Orton, I got you, Randy
So he
Orton.
fake low blowed him and
yeah, just to
okay.
get
He tried to play it
publicity
like
or
turn it
whatever.
into an
Yeah,
angle. Yeah.
Bullshit. Glad you got stopped. By the way,
Mhm.
you know what I've been thinking about this week is we've seen
What's up?
MJF and how the blood drained to his eyes from his hematoma on his head, but we haven't heard anything from Bryan Danielson, and I wonder if Bryan Danielson after that match is okay. And I have not heard a single thing other than he
I
was
think
like going
it's-
away. I hope he's
He
all right.
cut that great promo, and I think it's just a chance to give him time off. And I mean, I'm sure he is hurt in a sense, but I'm pretty sure it's all storyline.
Because it's amazing. MJF still like 2 weeks later is messed up face wise. Like probably not physically, he's fine, but
Mhm.
like his face, like
they did some crazy shit though in that match. My
Yeah.
God, like
for an hour.
yeah, for an hour, like yeah, it was crazy.
And I was
Yeah,
probably,
like
probably the truth that Danielson couldn't probably feel his left arm and was. I mean, he's much older than MJF. MJF,
and it seems like a
26,
common
and-
problem for a lot of wrestlers, like who get to that point. You know, like they live with it, and they
Yeah.
just get to a point where they're like,
Especially
oh
when
yeah,
you
I just
fight
can't
that
feel my arm
style.
sometimes.
When you're doing that Bryan Danielson style, what's going on with Ring of Honor, guys?
Dude, Commander
Fucking-
versus Vikingo. Are you excited?
Yeah, very excited.
Yeah.
Very excited. I can't wait till Vikingo comes over to
Flippy shit.
NXT,
He
faces Dragon Lee. Yeah, you never know. Actually,
Yeah.
they got Dragon Lee in there. That guy from AAA.
You right?
Yeah.
And who's Josh Alexander had to drop the title because he's injured?
Yeah, he's injured. He's
Impact?
really good. I like him. He was Impact
Yeah,
champion.
Josh Alexander is really good.
He was really good, but yeah, he tore his tricep, so he'll be out for a while. He was
God,
really
and
good.
who-
I really like him actually. He's another guy I'd
NXT
like to see go to NXT and learn.
NXT just got, God damn it, who he fought Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee debuted. It was on a house show, and they brought someone over from New Japan. I think it's an American
NXT
guy.
did?
Yeah, something Fredericks. I don't know, but I don't know. NXT, it's like it's getting stacked again, like with a lot of good
Because
talent.
Triple H
over
knows
there.
how to do it. Like, I think they
So
learned his
he's- I
lesson. And William Regal did an interview I watched recently too. Again, I don't remember who it was with, but he was talking about how the writing was on the wall anyway. Like when the pandemic hit and everything, and then all the layoffs happened, he's like, the writing was on the wall anyway. There was that NXT, was it Portland? He said NXT Takeover Portland. I could be wrong, but I think he said Portland. Where like they all looked at each other and they're like, I don't know how we're gonna do better than this. Like, it's not possible. And they kind of knew. He insinuated that that Vince was pissed that like you guys are making the fucking B brand better than the main roster. Like, even though Vince yayed or nayed everything on the main roster, so it was him. But that's why, because William Regal said, I'm just gonna leave it at this. I don't have a problem with the old man because he's always taking care of me. But he was like, they weren't working out when they went up to the main roster, and so the writing was on the wall. And then when we were just killing it with our own shows, but then we would put that talent up there and they weren't really working, like it was writing on the wall because we're the developmental territory. So he's like, it doesn't matter how good we were, we can never be better than the main roster, even though we were quality wise. But if you're not feeding the main roster, which is your job, you're not doing your job. So he pretty much alluded that, yeah, they wiped him out.
This is
And
a
that's
recent
when-
interview with Regal. Like,
Yeah,
while he's
this
in
was
WWE saying
this was either right. I think this was right before he left AEW. He was talking about it, and
okay, no,
he
so,
was
so
like,
he wasn't in his WWE position.
yeah, he
Okay.
this was an after. This isn't sense. So he said he was actually paid by both companies. So he had two contracts. He was behind screen talent, and he was still under contract as William Regal, because they would use him sometimes on screen. So he had two different contracts. So when he got let go, he still had his talent contract, and he called Vince and said, hey, I got this opportunity. AEW approached me or whatever. And Vince was like, go for it. Absolutely. And he was like, so can you pay me out? He's like, I'm still going to pay you. He's like, so you're not going to wrestle for them, right? He's like, no, I'm done. Like, I can't wrestle. And he was like, okay. He's like, so Vince paid him out for his William Regal contract while he was starting for AEW and getting paid for his manager stuff over there, which is kind of fucking cool. Well, it's easy to bash Vince or whatever, but there's a lot of stories where people are like, yeah, he fucking took care of me. Like he
because
didn't.
they purposely don't tell you those stories,
Yeah,
unless you hear it from the
it's
actual.
It's not juicy.
It's not unless you hear it from the actual person he treated like that good or whatever. You'll never hear it from like the dirt sheets. They won't even spread rumors like that. Like, oh, Vince treated so and so really good. They'll never.
Yeah,
even say
and
that.
I didn't hear one report from that interview where William Regal himself is saying like I'm the only guy to date that's been paid simultaneously by AEW and WWE. But he's like, no one ran with that story. They just shut up,
Yeah,
William.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's probably what they tell us.
But did he bully you? Which he did all that too.
Which is why I'm glad Vince is back in control of creative. Thank God. Right?
Yeah.
Tell him, Meltzer.
He's back.
Who's in control of creative?
We were on Donahue.
That's why Triple H, I think they're almost at that point, but not yet. But like NXT is starting to turn into that where it's kind of a mixture of the black and gold and what Vince wants.
I feel like he learned. I feel like Triple H learned we can't make it as good as the black and gold used to be because it does need to be a feeder system. You know what I mean? But I think you're right.
They're going on tour. They're already on tour now, so
no, that's good. But
they're going to get to that point again.
Well, they might, but I mean, like, as long as they're equal as, you know what I mean? Like,
why not? Why not? Like, who cares if you're bringing in more money? Like, if you're able to sell out the stadiums that they were or the arenas that they were selling out.
No, you're right, but
cares?
I think the fact is money. Yeah, and I think if more people see NXT, then they'll recognize them more when they go up to the main roster, right? Like,
exactly. Yeah,
I think that if NXT's only watched by a few people. And then they go up to the main roster. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a curse to be known. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know what's better.
Because Vince can still just say. I think he was just mad because it was Triple H homegrown and not Vince homegrown. But it's like, dude, they came from WWE. That should make you happy because they were your homegrown stars. I think who cares about what they did on the independents? NXT,
I think the problem was more on the main
brand.
roster. I think Vince needed to allow a little bit more of that modern wrestling to come in, and he was afraid of it, and he didn't want to do it.
Well,
yeah. And Triple H is not afraid to, look, he turns their names back, right? Like Piper
Niven.
She was Dewdrop and he turned her back to her old name. Like, Triple H is not afraid to be like, you know what? Like, let's just kind of
Butch is gonna go back to Pete Dunne. You hear about that?
I reard that. No. I read that today. Yeah, I read that
he's
today.
Gonna go back to being Pete Dunne.
That's
which is funny
because he's in control.
Well, but see some of them get it. And that's why they're gonna stay there a long time. Pete Dunne, Butch, whatever you want to call him, he said no one has ever came up to me outside of wrestling other than until I became Butch. He's like, now I have people coming up to me saying that I'm their favorite wrestler.
It's a fucking worldwide company,
Yeah.
Right.
No, but that's the thing. Like that. So, I mean, some, they get it. And it's not like the word, like, I still think now, to me, the name Gunther sounds more menacing than Walter, honestly.
Dude,
it sounds more of like that.
I'm glad you said that because, like, sure, if you're going to be an asshole like most wrestling fans are, they just don't like change, so they get pissed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Gunther sounds awesome, and like
it actually does.
Like, who? Oh my God!
You know
who are you
why?
Gonna face? I'm going to face Walter. Like, I mean, like,
yeah, no, exactly.
Someone like LA Knight would make fun of that and expose his name, and you never want to make fun of someone's name, right? Somebody can make fun of Walter, and then he could kill you with chops and everything. But Gunther is very menacing and very heelish, and
And
like,
you know what also helps it? It helps it the way Kaiser announces it, and any other ring announcer says Gunther. It sounds like
it's Gunther. Yeah, it's like
it sounds more menacing. It sounds more heelish.
Yeah,
it just sounds better. And you know what? It's funny. I love it because I feel bad for Keith Lee, but people keep bringing up that tweet from a year ago when Gunther got his name changed.
Yeah,
and Keith Lee said he tweeted, "If what I'm hearing about Walter is true, man, poor Walter." And now everyone keeps showing the pictures of
there's a
how
whole
Keith
video
looks
of
now.
like Keith's disaster in AEW.
And even Walters tweeted that. He said, "If what I'm hearing is true, man, poor Keith Lee."
Did
like,
Walter tweet that?
Yeah, he did tweet that.
Fuck, that's great.
It's true. It's true. Better off as Bearcat. He would have been better off as Bearcat because
my main point is I think it's better. I think it's better that there's a more connection between NXT and the main roster, and that's Triple H. And I think that he won't make the same mistake by buying every indie darling and every top. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's gonna make. I think he'll mix it. I think he'll do that, and I think he'll do homegrown too, because I think he does notice the importance of homegrown, and
that's why he has that. They have that. What's that? Next in line program with the college athletes.
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
And speaking of that was it Sol Ruka, that chick? Have you seen her? Yes. That chick's fucking amazing, and she's never wrestled before, and she's
There's a lot of
that's
good
why-
talent. To your point,
Dude,
there's a
their
lot of
women's
good people that I'm
division-
seeing on NXT
their
now
women's
that I'm
division-
like, oof, like, yeah.
Their women's division is
good.
stacked again. Like, they have so many good women wrestlers. I don't care what
They
anyone
need it.
says. Like, and it's not a bias thing. The best women's wrestling division outside of the main roster is on NXT. It's in the second place.
They
AEW
need it for the
terrible.
main roster, though. They
AEW
need
terrible.
they,
AEW
if they're going to
terrible.
grow that women's roster on the main roster, they need NXT to be big. They need a
Yeah.
good women's roster there.
But see, that's the thing.
Like-
and you want that because don't you want them
And-
to already be well known?
And if you get the Britt Bakers from the other promotion, you can get them too. So that's all good in the hood. Like,
dude,
or Jade.
I want her to go to NXT.
They don't know
so
what to
bad.
do with her
I
and her
want
contract's up. Guess what? Jade on NXT or the main roster will fucking steal. Everyone head will turn. They'll look at her and be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
who's
They
that?"
might teach her how to
Go to
wrestle.
NXT.
I mean,
That's
she can
fine.
wrestle.
That's fine.
But
She does need to learn.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's
Well,
because she can't. I think it's because she's not being taught. I think
Supposedly
that's the
Bryan
problem.
Danielson is teaching her stuff.
That's good.
So
Well,
that's
she can only
great.
get better from
That's-
that.
I mean, who better? Oh man, Triple H is already like, we got to get her.
Call it.
God.
Do everything you can. Regal.
Put your feelers
Go
in.
get her.
Honestly,
Not the
right?
worst.
Yeah, Regal. I'm sure Regal's
She's-
connections over there.
Go get her.
But do you know
Yep.
Jade?
Steven.
Jade over there?
You know Jade.
It's a private conversation.
Sunshine, when your contract's up, you give me a call, okay?
Yeah,
What did he call her? John.
Hey,
Can't say Jade.
John Cargill.
Good. Yeah.
Regal, you wanted
yeah,
to see me about some.
Oh,
Regal, you wanted to see me, Regal,
Craig,
about
you're
some
going
new
to.
talent?
Hey, Craig, you are going to. You heard about the other surprise at WrestleMania possibility, right?
No, don't spoil that. What?
Well, because it might not. These are just rumors from the dirt sheets.
What's up?
Since Wyatt is pulled out of the Lashley match,
Yep.
the rumor is Brian Cage is going to be the guy that wrestles him.
How do you know Brian Cage
Surprise
is that
opponent.
short?
I know. Was it like 5'9"?
Did I text that or whatever? Yeah, it was like fucking 6. No, it was like 6 foot or something. Like they're lower than that. And I was like, God damn, he's so
I
big.
don't
Like I
think people would know who he is. I don't.
Oh no, LA they would because PWG and all that shit. LA,
that's true.
they would know
Yeah,
who
he's
he is.
from yeah. What's like the biggest chance?
Oh,
For a surprise
Kenny Omega
opponent, I
versus
don't know if that would
Vikingo is
work.
dream match though, right, Craig?
What's
Kenny
that?
Omega versus Vikingo dream match.
Yeah.
No one knows.
Yeah. Is that going to be?
So
Is
the
that rumor
pre-show
WrestleMania?
WrestleMania.
Dream
Kenny
match?
Omega.
Vikingo is actually going to be Bobby Lashley's surprise opponent.
He just flips around Lashley and Lashley clotheslines him once and
Actually,
Hurt Locker's
FTR
in
is
and-
going to be signing at
He just ragdolls
WrestleCon
him
in
and throws
Los
him down.
Angeles.
Hey.
So why isn't FTR going to be? And obviously,
Well-
it's so stupid because they've already telegraphed it. FTR versus the Guns, and loser leaves. If FTR
Well-
loses, going to leave AEW. So
And
silly.
they just had Triple H on their podcast.
silly. Did they really?
Yeah,
Stupid.
that's why I said that.
So
But I
stupid.
don't know if no one believed it or not.
How about-
See you
They
guys
literally
good,
had him on
yeah.
the podcast.
You were
Okay,
always
see
good
you-
to us, Hunter,
see you
right?
guys good. Oh yeah.
And now they're saying what Dax just said. He said something like, I don't think we were ever Triple H guys when we were in NXT. Which is bullshit.
Shut.
So, that they're stirring the pot there. Which actually kind of tells me maybe they're actually not leaving AEW, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think
I
that
hope
if
they
Tony
leave.
Khan knew they were leaving, they wouldn't have came out at Revolution, and then they wouldn't be even put in this position. Why come back as surprises?
Well, unless they're
or
doing
whatever?
the honors. Unless they're doing the honors.
Yes, but
I
you know what? Can
think
I be honest here? The Gun
Because your
Brothers suck.
boys that are on top, the Young Bucks, they're politicking.
Yeah,
and
the
they
Gun
don't
the
like
Gun
them.
Brothers are not good, and I just would rather they
That's
claim
fine.
win the titles back and just be done with it.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
they're
and
so-
it's
They're trying to get a
Okay.
good heel team together. That's what they're
the
trying to
Young Bucks. I mean, if it all that seems to be like it's pretty legit as far as the politicking with the Young Bucks purposely not wanting to mix it up with FTR because they should have been the ones when FTR
Yeah.
had all the gold and Young Bucks had the AEW titles. Why didn't they fight?
that should have been the climax, right? We got all
That
these
should have
titles, but we want this title.
So
like,
I could
and-
see
yeah.
I could see Tony Khan saying, "Fine, he's all you guys just do the
Oh.
honors on the way out."
But if
Bye-bye.
if
Use the
FTR
Gun
was going to
Brothers.
stay, why would they drop all 7 titles?
Yeah, exactly. I think they
Like
already knew
even if
since
it's like
last
just
year.
a heel or whatever, which I
think as soon
understand,
as
but,
Triple
like,
H took over, they said, "We know where we're going."
you
after-
have to.
after
Right,
They've
FTR.
got to drop all those. But
because
They're
even
too
before Triple
connected
H
with
took over,
AEW.
it
Yeah.
seemed like there was already problems there with FTR and the way they were being handled.
Yeah, I heard about
And
that too.
I think
but they
that's
were
why they
unhappy.
went and got all those other titles.
Did you see on AEW Dynamite the loogie that the Guns like spit on Dax?
Mm-mm.
It was
No.
like a post match, like so Guns wrestled
Like
Was it Bret Hart level?
Top Flight or
Yeah, Bret
whatever.
Hart
It
level.
was because it was just that sticky. He wrestled for 25
Like that
minutes,
dry,
and it
yeah.
was this like just massive gel, and Dax like wiped it away, but the string kind of came off.
Oh,
I don't-
God.
It
I'm
was
bad at that.
really gross. And then Dax, his face flushed like he was really pissed, and then he kept wiping his
bet.
eye with his shirt. Like they were not happy. So expect
I
some
think-
receipts.
Tony Khan probably fucking said, "Do that, please."
So please,
spit on me."
Big Loogie, Bret Hart, McMahon,
Spit, Bret
Loogie,
Hart.
go.
You know Bret Hart because I'm such a fan. I'm such a fan. Yeah, you know Bret Hart. I know what I'm talking about. Bret Hart. Shit.
And he hugs everyone like on the waist, like everyone like around the room,
Yeah.
just really
Billy,
fast,
can you
really
have your
hard.
sons just spit some real shit at FTR on the way out? Thank you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you,
Nobody
guys.
crosses TK. Okay, bye.
I can't stand Tony Khan.
Okay,
Why do you
bye.
hate Tony Khan?
I just don't think he's genuine. I just don't think he's genuine. That's why.
No, he's not. Dude, he's the son of a billionaire. Of course he's not genuine.
That's why I don't like him. I think Vince is more genuine than Tony Khan.
He's also a
'Cause
billionaire.
Vince
isn't
doesn't give a shit
genuine.
though. Yeah, but Vince doesn't give a shit. He'll just fucking tell you as it is. Tony Khan's like, I want to please everybody, but I don't really like you. I don't know. I just want to look cool. I only hug people because it's a photo op, not because I want to hug him. And now because he's known as the guy that hugs everybody.
I
that's
just
what he
love that he fucking hugs NFL players after playoff games, just like AEW wrestlers. Like, just
Well, it's
stop
But
it,
all-
dude.
does. So that's what I want
Alpha
someone to
twirling
look
out
up
of his
because I don't
pocket.
know. Did he always do that before
What?
AEW?
Maybe. Oh,
That's the.
I
That's
don't know.
where we
I don't
go
think I ever
back.
saw Tony Khan.
That's
like,
where we
before
follow
AEW.
the lore. You know,
Interesting.
that's where we.
like maybe he did that with
Yeah.
soccer players when he was a kid. Like
Ah!
when he and
Just hugging
Fulham.
them.
I think that was the first.
He
Like,
probably still thinks he's a
Sport.
kid. Maybe that's his way of just trying to still stay as a kid. Doesn't want to. He wants to ignore all adult life and reality.
Yeah,
So he's just.
that's why he's got his own wresling company, right? Like when he was younger, he loved wrestling,
Dad,
so he wants
buy
to.
this
Dad,
for
I want
me.
to play. I want to do wrestling.
Dad.
All right. And I'm gonna hire CM Punk. All right, hire CM Punk.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm done with wrestling. $25 billion. I'll be back.
Dad,
coming back with you.
Dad, Daniel Bryan's my best friend. Dad, Chris Jericho's my
Yeah.
best friend. Dad.
Sting's my best friend. Jeff Jarrett's my best friend.
Yeah,
Oh,
everybody.
Now
Sting
Goldberg
has
might
to go.
be my best
Sting
friend.
has to
I'm
retire. Can we talk about
keeping
that?
an eye on that.
He's old. He's in his 60s. Sting
Yeah.
should have retired a long time
Well,
ago.
so do you see that? Do you see that new New Japan promo of someone that's coming to New Japan?
No.
Yeah.
It's like a big meteor crashing into Japan, and they think it might be Goldberg.
Ugh.
Fuck in a.
Oh, the
God.
best wrestlers go to Japan.
Oh my god! But what if
he
he,
comes back?
and
He's
he's
all,
amazing?
yeah. He's like doing
He's
Kenny
Goldberg
Omega
in his
matches.
60s. He's fucking awesome.
He's doing Kenny
He just
Omega
He
learns
matches.
does
how to
like
wrestle.
21 straight days of the G1 Goldberg.
Oh, it'd be fucking great. It'd be fucking
And just
great.
all this amazing shit. He's like, I could wrestle this whole time. No one asked me to. What?
He's like, yeah. He's like, no one ever asked. No one ever asked me to.
No.
They just wanted me to spear.
I would lose all respect
That's
for New
it,
Japan
jackhammer.
if they fucking hired Goldberg.
Why? If he does that,
Does what?
Spears this
Be-
actual.
like, be
Turns
fucking-
into a wrestling machine? A
Yeah,
G1
Spears the
wrestling
entire.
machine?
he's the new. I'm the new bout machine. Be
Dude.
fucking great.
No.
Dave Meltzer. Seven match.
Oh yeah,
He's
he's,
match.
he's good. I've always known he's been this good. I've always said
It's
from the
gotta-
beginning.
It's kind of like when Kenny Omega first came to New Japan, but better.
Compares it to.
Can
He's
we
like,
talk? I'm Alvarez. Can we talk about Goldberg versus Tanahashi
Yeah,
from over the weekend?
This is awesome. This is excellent. I've
45
never seen. I always knew Bill.
minutes.
I knew Bill from way back before WCW, and I knew he could wrestle. I knew it. I always
Listen.
asked him, "Well, Bill."
What
You
was
know,
that?
and
I
then that
saw-
match against Undertaker and Saudi, like he botched on purpose because he didn't want people to know he could wrestle. He did it on purpose, and then I thought
It's
it was
funny because
amazing.
he gets like so excited sometimes, and I hear him like stopping himself, like when Brian's talking and he wants to keep interrupting. It's funny. You just hear him in the back going, and he like stops himself, and then Brian Alvarez just
I'm the
keeps
boss.
trying to push through. Like he's like he wants to say like put in his 2 cents. He's like,
I know you can't
fucking
help,
funny.
and he's always been in like fitness and stuff like that, like from what I know. But like I know you can't help how you look like, but he gets harder to look at the older he gets. Whenever they cut him to him on the camera, I'm like, Jesus,
Meltzer.
Dave, like, yeah, turn
It's
the
like
lights
just-
out, or like,
just his biceps are left, and that's it, pretty much.
yeah,
It's
just
just,
show
like,
off
everything
your,
else
your
is
good
fading
assets,
away.
right?
His
Like,
Cro-Magnon, his fucking forehead, and his leaning over his eyes.
yeah, I'm like, oh, every time, like it's jarring, like every time, like they put the camera on him, I'm like, oh Jesus, like,
It's
oh,
weird.
hey.
Like
Yeah,
a few
And
times
he
an
always
episode,
he's
he'll
always
just,
like this with the microphone.
Yeah, he's all, yeah, he's sitting on his fucking couch now, and he's like, oh, five
Yeah,
stars,
and then like every couple of minutes, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill myself."
Oh, what'd you say, Brian?
What
What'd you
did
say?
What Dave Meltzer's all, I hate the way I look like.
Oh, Brian, what?
so Dave, get back on the couch. He's like, oh, I'm sorry.
So what do you think they're gonna do at WrestleMania? Well, I think Cody is gonna.
Oh, well, I'll be dead before
Yeah, he's
then.
like
I'm gonna
showing
kill
off.
myself.
He's like curling. He's like, oh, what, me? No, I didn't.
Robin Williams did
Oh,
scarves.
yeah,
I can
yeah.
do scarves on the doorknob. I'll just,
Ah!
my family will find me.
Don't. Yeah. You know what? Just say yeah.
I might take
Oh,
pills.
God damn it.
I might take pills. 5 stars.
He's all
5 stars.
like,
Take
what?
pills.
5 stars. Take pills.
So sad. So sad.
I'm gonna drink drink some whiskey. Does he drink? I don't.
Drink some whiskey.
Does
I'm gonna drink some whiskey.
does he? No. I was actually. Does he?
You were like commentating yourself, but you had your Dave voice on. You're like, I'm gonna take a sip of this whiskey.
Does he though? Like I don't know. Does he drink? Is he one of those?
I don't think he does. I mean, I think he's like one of those like clean eaters and stuff, and like which is fine. Good.
Yeah,
it's working out for him.
All power.
I'll never go bald, and my hair, my face will always look good.
That's because he whacks it every day, probably.
Not live the longest.
Well,
why are we terrible? I'm sorry, Dave Meltzer.
I know, like
I actually. Sometimes I'll
be
be like thinking about like if I'm listening to them or whatever, and I think about like all the stuff that we make fun of him. Like, I actually feel bad sometimes because what if he hears it and like he like gets sad or something? I don't know.
So, but not even that. Like, legitly, it's all surface stuff. All right, like you could agree or disagree with his points of view, and he's very polarizing. And of course, everyone has a super amped opinion about him either way.
I don't hate the guy,
but I mean, like his commitment to wrestling, the fact that he still writes thousands of words every fucking week about wrestling, he has been into wrestling. He's a stat machine. Like he can quote stats and like he's into gates and how
in
much
reality,
money
it's someone I appreciate
and has evolved
I
with
would
the
talk to you every day. But
yeah, like I have to say,
to
dude,
internet to podcast to clips to everything.
It's not his fault, really. It's
more the people around him or the people that say
the people around him.
Like,
it's the world of dirt sheets, and it's the people that like, that fucking kind of I don't know, not want to say like put words in his mouth, but they kind of regurgitate what he says, and then they take that as gospel or push
or
it
they
as
say Dave Meltzer said, and because Dave Meltzer always says when anything breaks.
I mean, he's still a piece
like,
of shit, but.
Right.
He's all, you know what you guys should do? You guys should subscribe. He's always like kind of funny with it. He's always like, well, you guys should subscribe to my newsletter and go read it for yourself. And you realize all those rumors are wrong. Like all my stuff's in the newsletters. I put everything in print. So if you have any questions about what I said, it's right there. Like, so he's always been open and honest about it. Yeah. He's like, any apologies or retractions, I put everything in there. So he's like, if you're saying I said something, if it was wrong and I found out about it, I probably apologize for it, or I put a retraction in the next issue or whatever. But he's like, nobody will talk about that. Everyone will just say that I'm lying. I'm making.
To be fair, on the other side of it, if they're posting the highlight of something of a show, or posting a short, quick tweet, they're only pushing the thing that gets the clicks. They're not showcasing the apology. They're not showcasing the good review of WWE, NXT, or Raw. They're only posting about the bullshit that they don't like, and then when you go in to listen to the show, then that's when you like.
It's ironic. You're right. It's so funny. It's like they're in the world of wrestling and they play characters too. You know what I mean? Like just like the world of wrestling, they have to sell to marks.
But it's all garbage. It's like TikTok. It's like YouTube.
Yeah, you're right.
Fucking podcast. It's.
I just think
we should just start doing that. We should only highlight the part where Dave or Craig said fucking Dave Meltzer was going to.
I always joke to you, like, you know what? If we become ultimately divisive, that's what divisiveness works. Clicks. People will, like that. Remember when I put that one thing where what's her face, the Hart, Julia Hart, when she fell back and missed the fucking table and almost killed herself when the Moody came out, and that was like one of our most engaged posts because I was slandered. I didn't even say. I said I liked AEW, and but I'm thinking in general in all promotions, this shit needs to stop. But because I showed an AEW clip, people got huge boners, and they were like, yeah, fuck AEW, yeah. And I'm like, dude, goddamn, like. But then you're right. Like if we were just divisive like that and we put anti one or the other, we would probably gain tons more followers because we were anti WWE or anti AEW instead of just being fucking fans like we are. And we just try to make jokes about everybody. And we like retro stuff. You want to know why? Because we didn't know a lot behind the scenes. Like my ultimate thing about the Punk thing that we started out this episode with was like, why the fuck does he have to post anything? I don't want to know anything that goes on. I don't want to know your talks with Moxley because how many talks were there between megastars that went south that we'll never know about, that we don't need to know about? How many bad conversations did Vince and Bruce Pritchard see break down when Hogan was trying to work out his shit with Bundy or, or anybody or Savage, or you don't think Savage went fucking nuts a ton of times in the locker room, like because he's mad about something? We didn't know about it because we don't need to. Like, I don't need to know what CM Punk, I don't need Punk to tell me what Moxley did or who cheated on his wife. I don't fucking care. I want to be entertained. I want these guys to hash it out. They should argue, just like directors argue with actors and actresses. They should argue, but we should never know about it. We should just see what the end result is.
I want it to be pushed like a real sport still. And
like I want to be.
That's why I was making that joke about Ryan Satin earlier. I hate because he's a WWE commentator, journalist guy.
Right.
I hate when he's like, I hear that they might be doing this. I'm like, treat it like a real sport. Like, don't be saying
surprised.
Like, don't like that's like them just on Raw. Like Corey Graves, if he's like, oh, I heard, they might have the Usos do a run-in, and then Matt Riddle and RKO,
Right, like,
Randy
giving away the
are
whole thing.
return. Like,
Yeah.
no, like,
Yeah.
Like, shut
pretend
up.
it's a real sports still. You
Yeah,
fucking
pretend it's
piece of
real.
shit. Because those are I'm gonna get mad again
Like,
because
yeah, exactly. When you don't have wrestlers on, you could do your opinion podcast. But when you have a wrestler sitting in front of you, don't insult them
I
by
hate
going
when
like,
I hate
yeah,
that
don't
so
insult them
much.
by acting like you're both in the same industry. Hey, tell me, Randy.
Yeah.
Randy, I hear that we're gonna do this. Any, you want to talk to us about that? It's like, I don't actually want to talk to you about it. I want you to be surprised. And anything I talk about in the back with my colleagues is our fucking job. Like, I don't want to talk to Ryan Satin. Like, so you can
Yeah.
tell
Do you
your
know where
fucking
Ryan
aunt-
Satin started?
No.
Yeah, like
TMZ.
TMZ, right, or something. Yeah.
Well,
Go
of course,
figure.
and that's why
Go
he's
figure.
yeah, go figure.
I mean, I
Garbage.
respect him. Like,
Yeah.
I like him. He's worked hard,
No.
but like, I mean, he's.
No.
I mean,
He's
again,
he's not
the same thing
Meltzer.
as Meltzer. If
he's a
someone's
likable
super
guy.
passionate about this about wrestling,
I appreciate what he
I
does with
get
the
it.
pro wrestling
Yeah.
sheet, or what is it, pro wrestling sheet or something.
What-
He had
And
a
the
he had a
show
wrestling news
has
website, and then he sold it
behind
for
the
a shit ton
character
of
or
money.
whatever the fuck.
Out of character.
That's what I
Austin
said.
was on it. Just
Yeah.
It goes
other
back
day.
to what we said too.
Yeah,
It's
you did say that, that's
divisiveness.
right.
They
Exactly.
all live on divisiveness, and they divide people, and that's what makes it happen. But then you do, to Cuz's point, you have like Ryan Satin, and what's the the redhead Sam? What's his name?
Oh, Sam Roberts.
Yeah, like he's
But he's
him,
on that
and then
Busted Open.
what's the other guy? I don't remember anybody's name. The other one he does
I
a
have a
lot of
picture of
the
Sam
A&E biographies and stuff. Him and Sam are together a lot.
Damn it.
You said his name before. We saw him live in Dallas. Him and Sam walked in together, and like they're like the WWE posse. Like they only do like the bubblegum kind of like high end kind of interviews or whatever. They're not
Mhm.
like the Meltzers and stuff. They're not like that. They, even though they are kind of in the same world, like
Yeah.
they're more of like the WWE guys, like the Satin, like you said, and all that stuff. And like they're just kind of like there's like, it's weird. It's like the dirt sheets and or the opinion podcasts are now, they're all factioning and dividing themselves into like different types of, you have the seedy ones, you have the up and up ones that WWE likes, so they invite them on purpose, and then you have the ones that WWE won't touch and won't have them in there, and it's just all divisiveness, man. Like it's just the way it's always been.
It is, and then God, man,
I guess
wish the
wrestling was
internet
at its
was
height,
just-
right? When you were being divided, when you had Bischoff telling you the results to WWE, and you had Bischoff saying we had the best, but I don't mind them being divisive. I like seeing that, and I guess fans are going to get like that. Fans never had a voice like they do.
Well, yeah,
now
the
on social
promotions,
media.
but God, that's the thing too. Tony Khan, man, they spend too much time talking about WWE taking shots. It's like it's one thing when you do it like how WCW was doing it, but like every fucking segment almost.
Well, when it's like when it's shitty shots,
a rib at WWE. It's like come on,
Bischoff went right for the throat.
Guys.
Bischoff went right for the throat. Like
Bischoff had every right to though. Like AEW's not at that level. It's like you don't even have the room to fucking be doing that right now. Worry about your shit first.
Yeah, and it won't matter if AEW even lands a shot that wins, let's say. What's that going to improve their viewership by 20,000 people? Like, it's not even going to be... Yeah.
When Roman made that little took that little shot at AEW, when was the last time before Roman someone on WWE made it was like a year or two ago, maybe? Like,
more than that, I think it was right when it first started, when AEW first started. Didn't someone say AEW on WWE television or something? Like, it was
Sammy did.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah,
he said something like, maybe I'll go to AEW.
Conspiracy Sammy. Yeah. That's
like,
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
yeah, exactly. Conspiracy Sammy. But and then before that was when Triple H said, "I'll buy that little pissant company that you're at," to Billy Gunn. Remember?
Yeah, that's right.
That literally what, like 3
Hall
times that you can count that fucking someone on.
Well, when you're number one,
AEW.
when Vince was firmly number one in the '80s, he never referenced Crockett or NWA or anything like that. Because why? Like why? Then when Vince got desperate, when he's like WCW actually is competing, that's when he did the Billionaire Ted skits and the Wrestling War Room skits and all that stuff because he got desperate, and that's when Vince started.
Nacho Man was hilarious.
Yeah,
because it wasn't Macho, it was Nacho.
So I think that's the problem with Tony Khan. I think he thinks he is Vince in the desperate situation right now.
Funny.
Except it's not the same thing.
You're not, and you only become number one when you're number two. Is when you you only become number one when you're number two, when you just focus on what you're doing and you just make compelling characters that people like, and then you just start getting better. They stumbled upon the NWO storyline. They were off to the races. That's it. Like that's all it took. And
they could do a lot with Cage, but it looks like it sounds like he's not signing with AEW. It's already been known that he kind of wants
big
to go
as
to
shit.
WWE
Well, that's why they haven't really like put him over because he was never a permanent guy.
Wardlow,
even though he was. Yeah.
Wardlow, as soon as his contract's up, he's gone.
Get out. Get out. If they're not going to use you, get out
of there.
Yeah, get out.
Get out of there.
Go to
Samoa
NWA.
Joe, he'll probably be back in WWE again.
You should go to NWA.
Go to NWA. Oh wow! So this
That'd be
this
cool
might be our
someone-
longest unscripted ever. We're almost an hour and 20 minutes, huh?
All right, we got 2 more hours.
This feels.
This
It's
is
a
good.
podcast
Now
Iron Man. It's a 3-hour Iron Man.
We got to try to get fat now on this podcast.
As live,
Done.
like for like a week run, we're like, ugh.
We got to try to get fat on here.
All right, well, I
Be
guess that's
exciting.
it, huh? We got what? One more of these? No.
Yep.
No.
No,
This
you
is the
guys
last
aren't.
one before Mania.
I might have to do it solo. I might
Enjoy
do it-
WrestleMania,
Yeah.
everybody.
Do it.
I'm gonna do a solo one.
We are
It's the-
we are a
it's the
week away
nerd
from
Super
WrestleMania
Bowl.
at this point.
Congrats.
Yeah.
It's better than the Super Bowl. It's bigger.
It
than
is
the Super
better. It is, yeah.
Bowl. It's bigger
It's
and better.
best. It's USA. On that note, I don't know.
WrestleMania. Clap, 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 clap. WrestleMania. Yeah.
And stoppy poo.
Stop.